You walk into your kitchen tonight. The sink looks clean. The counter shines. The dishes are gone. But lean closer to the drain for 1 second. There it is. That strange smell, thick, sour, rotting, like something old is hiding beneath the pipes. You pour hot water down the sink. Maybe lemon, maybe bleach. The smell disappears for an hour. Then it comes back again. Stronger, heavier, almost alive. Most people think the odor is coming from dirty dishes. It is not. Deep inside the pipes, under your kitchen, something else has been growing for years. Grease, soap, scum, food sludge, rotting oil, a black layer so thick it clings to the inside of the pipe walls like wet tar. In some American homes, plumbers have found grease build up nearly 2 inches thick. 10 years of trapped fat slowly hardening underground while bacteria feed on it every single night. And the strangest part? Your grandparents already knew how to stop it. Long before expensive drain gels, before chemical cleaners, before companies convinced people they needed toxic liquids in bright plastic bottles. Farmhouses across Pennsylvania and Ohio used a different method. Cheap, quiet, almost forgotten. A single white crystal. Less than $1. No plumber, no scrubbing, no chemical fog filling the kitchen. The first time I heard about it was inside an old farmhouse outside Lancaster County. The kitchen smelled like bread and firewood. Nothing sour, nothing rotten. The owner laughed when I mentioned drain cleaners. Then he opened a small wooden cabinet beside the sink and pulled out a glass jar filled with rough white crystals. Not powder, not soap. Crystals. He said his grandfather used the same thing during the winter of 1947 when grease pipes froze beneath the farmhouse. According to him, families used it for generations because it broke apart grease before it could rot. Please, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Then he said something strange. They stopped teaching people because nobody could patent salt. That sentence stayed in my head for weeks, because modern kitchens are filled with products that treat symptoms instead of causes. Air fresheners mask odors. Chemical liquids burn through small clogs temporarily. But beneath the pipe walls, the grease remains, slowly growing thicker, slowly trapping bacteria. And bacteria love grease, especially warm grease. According to environmental engineers, kitchen pipe buildup becomes a feeding ground for sulfur-producing bacteria. These microbes release gases that create the exact rotten smell most homeowners complain about. The odor is not just dirty pipes. It is bacterial decay. That is why the smell returns again and again. You were sold temporary solutions, but old kitchens focused on prevention. And this is where the hidden crystal enters the story. Coarse salt. Simple mineral salt crystals. Not fancy designer cleaners, not blue chemical foam, just salt. The reason sounds almost too simple. Salt pulls moisture from bacterial colonies through osmotic pressure. At the same time, rough crystals scrape layers of soft grease while hot water helps carry loosened sludge deeper through the system. Modern chemistry calls this process abrasive mineral flushing. Old farmhouse owners just called it cleaning the pipes, and they did something modern homeowners rarely do anymore. They maintained the drain before disaster started. That part matters, because the drain cleaning industry profits most when pipes become emergencies. Giant clogs, pipe replacement, emergency weekend plumbing visits. Nobody makes money teaching families how to stop buildup early. So the old methods disappeared quietly, buried beneath modern convenience. But the darkest part comes next. Most kitchen grease does not come from obvious foods like bacon fat. It comes from invisible residue. Butter melted in pans. Cooking oil rinsed from plates. Cream sauces. Tiny particles washed down night after night. A thin layer forms first, then another, month after month, year after year, until the pipe narrows, air changes, bacteria multiply. Then the smell begins. Slowly, quietly, almost impossible to locate. And once homeowners smell it, they usually attack the wrong problem. Candles, sprays, bleach. But bleach can actually worsen certain pipe odors because it disrupts bacterial balance without removing grease itself. Some plumbers even warn repeated chemical use may harden grease further inside older pipes. That is why the farmhouse method followed a very specific sequence, and almost nobody teaches it now. First, boil a full kettle of water. Not warm water. Boiling. Second, pour half a cup of coarse salt directly into the kitchen drain. Large crystals work best because they create friction along the pipe walls. Third, slowly pour the boiling water over the salt in stages, not all at once. Let the mixture travel downward gradually. Then, wait 15 minutes. That pause matters more than people realize. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, because during those minutes, the heat softens grease while the salt begins breaking apart bacterial slime attached to the pipe walls. After 15 minutes, flush again with hot water. That is it. No fumes, no gloves, no expensive chemicals, just heat. Salt. Time. Old farmhouse journals sometimes repeated this process once every week during winter months when grease hardened faster in cold pipes. Prevention became routine. quiet maintenance instead of emergency repair. But there is one more layer most people never hear about. The sink smell is often strongest at night for a reason. When the house becomes quiet, water inside the plumbing trap cools slightly, air pressure shifts. Gas from bacterial activity moves upward more easily through partially coated pipes. That is why some kitchens smell perfectly normal during the day but sour after midnight. The smell is not random. It is a signal, a warning from inside the system. And Americans spend billions trying to silence warnings instead of removing causes. The old methods focused on systems, not symptoms. That mindset has almost vanished now. You can see it everywhere. Disposable products, temporary fixes, chemical shortcuts. But hidden knowledge always survives somewhere, in handwritten notes, in old farmhouses, in habits passed quietly between generations while the modern world rushes toward another plastic bottle. And maybe that is why these forgotten tricks spread so quickly online now. People are tired of paying for solutions that never truly solve anything. They want control back. They want simple answers, again, not because old methods are magical, because many were designed around prevention instead of profit. That difference changes everything. Tonight, before bed, stand near your kitchen sink again, listen carefully, smell the air. Think about what has been sliding beneath those pipes for the last decade. Grease, soap, taut, rot. Years of buildup hidden inches below your hands. Then remember something strange. A $1 crystal may work better than the expensive bottle under the sink right now. Because sometimes the oldest knowledge survives for one reason. It worked. Hiddenova exists for people recovering the forgotten methods modern life buried beneath convenience and chemicals. People who believe simple systems still matter. People learning how to become less dependent on industries selling temporary fixes. So tell me in the comments, have you ever smelled that strange kitchen drain odor at night? And would you try the salt method before calling a plumber? Because the next Hiddenova story goes even deeper. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. There is an old winter trick used in remote farmhouses that kept entire homes warmer without touching the thermostat once, and almost nobody talks about it anymore.